Everybody, Andy here again. We put this in the title of this particular video, revenue streams, and maybe wondering what that's about. But it's several things that have happened to me and also to a couple of other publications or media services, should we say, over the past few days that sort of brought this to the fore and sort of brought all these little things together and say thinking about this particular topic for a while, I suppose. But what's happened is one of my favourite magazines, here we go if I can dig it out, and here it is, this the Word magazine. Now I've been buying this magazine, I've been a subscriber for about 3 years or so, I believe it is now, and the magazine itself has been going for about 9 years. And the other day, I think it was actually Friday, David Hepworth, the managing director, editor or whatever of the particular magazine, put out both on his own personal Twitter stream and the magazine stream as well, the fact that the magazine is ceasing to publish. The next issue, the August issue, will be the last one ever, and I think everybody who's interested in that magazine, who reads that magazine, was taken aback. Yes, we all know that these are hard times, but I think that really brought it home to us, and everyone's got outraged. What's going on here? It is a slightly different magazine, a bit late now for anyone who's sort of coming to the party, so to speak. It is a bit different, and that's the reason I like it, and the reason that a lot of other people like it, and people that introduced it to me, and I've told other people about it as well. It's slightly different, slightly quirky. Anyone who's read anything by from David Hepworth and Mark Ellen, the two main guys who started it up, I believe some time ago now, 9 years, they were the people who started Q magazine all those years ago, back in the 80s, mid-80s, and I remember buying that, the very first issue. I think I still got it somewhere, because their approach was a little bit different, slightly irreverent, intelligent, yes, good, but as I said, it's witty and slightly irreverent at times, and that appeals to me. And that magazine, the Word magazine, is a bit more intelligent. Don't mean it's derogatory to anyone else, but it is very interesting articles, not just about music across the board, but something that you do sort of read literally cover to cover, and there aren't many magazines that I can say that about. So to see that closing down all of a sudden, you're thinking, what's going on? You do wonder how certain magazines manage, and it's come out since that it only sells about 25,000 copies per month. I mean, it's one of those things, I suppose, that if you like a magazine, any magazine, the Word magazine, any other, if you like it and enjoy it, and and it's part of your life or whatever, subscribe to the magazine, because that's what you need to do, because otherwise it could be that sort of tips the balance over puts it over the edge type of thing. But David Hepburn put up a blog, and if I can find it down here, and he was talking about that, obviously trying to explain in his own personal blog some of the reasons, because some of the things that people have been saying, how can this happen? We need a campaign, we need to go sort of march on Parliament or something like that. But the whole real world comes into it, and he was saying here about, and if I can find it at the bottom, he said, I wouldn't be surprised to see any media enterprise, from a massive household name newspaper brands to tiny ones like the Word, shut down their doors tomorrow. And that comes as a bit of a shock. This is a man who's been involved in media for a long time now. And he also mentions in this particular blog something that the president or the boss of Hearst Magazines in the United States, probably all heard of Hearst, going back a few years now, but they produce a lot of magazines in the US, and they were saying that in the past, you only had two revenue streams. You used to have the people who bought the magazine or subscribed to the magazine, or the newspaper for that matter, and the advertisers. That was it. That was your two main ways of getting your revenue in. Now, the internet and everything, digital printing and all that type of stuff, has changed that completely. And the boss of Hearst magazines now reckons that you need 5 different revenue streams for any one particular publication or whatever as well. So that's one aspect of it that I think, but that makes you wonder. That's why they've got what people have websites, and they have subscription services, and they do all these other things, and maybe they have pay podcasts and iPhone apps and also iPad apps that you pay for. All these little things add up, and it made me think a bit about myself actually, because I lost my job pretty much exactly 2 years ago now. I have a bit of an income, but I'm thinking that's the way that things are now, not just for me, but the way that work is now. We have to get revenue streams. We don't tend to have just one revenue stream, our main salary. Some people still have that, and well done to them if they've still got that. But now so many jobs we see now are part-time work, and so many people hold down, or try to hold down, several different types of jobs, or they try and get all their money from different ways. And they have separate revenue streams. Where you used to have one, you now tend to have several. Something I've been thinking about now. I have maybe 2 revenue streams, but I need to think about some other ones as well. Maybe I need to go down what the Hearst boss has said, instead of having the one, you now have to develop others. So I have to think about that. Funny enough, I actually got a check from Google the other day. Not a very big check, and it's the first one that I've ever got, but it makes you think, well, actually, that's a lot of work's gone into that for not a great deal of money. But it just shows you that maybe if you can work on these things, or how you can get these bits of money from other things. So it's something else that I've been thinking of. But another one came in today, actually. I'll click the button once again. Planet Rock radio station that I listen to a reasonable amount. Classic rock station over here in the UK, only available on the digital sort of platform and online as well. And they've just changed the way that they do things as well. They have what they call a VIP service. It's one of those things that you used to just have to sign up for. You didn't have to pay anything, but you just signed up, so they've got your email and they can, send you stuff. And it allowed you sort of different content. They've changed that now over the past month and thereabouts. And what they've done is they've made that a subscription service. And the VIP service, if you go, you can listen online and you don't hear any adverts. They managed to make it so it's changed the sound of the station a little bit, something I'm not too keen of. But the boss, Mr. Malcolm Blumell, who bought the station because it nearly went bust a few years ago, and he actually stepped in with others, I believe, and actually saved the station. He'd actually come in and he said, because he's getting so much abuse because of this, because of the VIP club and everyone's having a go, as he said, you don't have to sign up. The station is still there online and on the air for anybody to listen to if they've got the technology. They don't, just that they will have to listen to the adverts unless they want to pay others. He's trying to think of another little revenue stream because, as he said, he's put this particular blog up because he's getting lots of abuse. He's costing him £1,000 a day to run that station. It's losing approximately £1,000 per day, and that was just his latest idea to get another different revenue stream. So, and I don't think that many people actually realise that that's the way of the world now. And that's 2 things that have come along recently that have made me think about that. Word magazine shutting. We all think things are nice and hunky-dory and the magazines drop through the letterbox on a monthly basis or something like that. But things are disappearing. We see it with pubs around. It's completely off topic, I know, but there's X amount of pubs shutting every particular day or week here in the UK. Shops shutting all over the place, and we see those and we don't tend to think about it too much. And we think that media, there's lots of money in TV. You look at the way TV's changed. They're all changing the way. It's all outsourced now. Little production companies, they don't pay the same amount of money. Things aren't, people getting rid of children's TV. It's all symptomatic of the way that things are changing. They need their different revenue streams, and that's a couple of examples. And as I said, it's brought it home to me. I had a bit of an inkling, having sort of helping running a radio station and helping out others or whatever as well. I do realise how much it takes, but you don't realise and so many people don't realise what it actually takes. They just expect these things to be there. They don't realise how much, and they criticise, no, you shouldn't be doing that, Andy, or this station or that, or they have a go at Planet Rock for trying to introduce something. I don't think they realise just the times that we're in now and how different it is than what it used to be. So revenue streams, yes, everybody's having to change their way, whether it be media organisations or even people on a person-to-person basis. So maybe I have to start putting ads on things to try and make my own revenue streams, because we're all suffering, aren't we, in one way or another. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for your time. I'll speak to you again soon. Goodbye.